Welcome to Mailbox Monday for New Year's Eve Day, December 31st. This is going to be a longer one because, here, I'm going to move you can't see this huge pile, but I've got a lot of books. This is kind of my Christmas haul, I guess you could call it. So, first for the books that I did not get as gifts for Christmas, Audible was having a sale, so as you can see below, I bought an audiobook of Brown Ships by it's the sequel to Railsea, and you can see that if you're watching this on my blog down below. It's kind of a dystopian, post-apocalyptic society kind of book. It's set in the same world as the Wind-Up Girl by, I always murder this guy's name, but Paoli Bacialupi or something like that. Anyway, so that's what Drowned Cities is about. It's in that same world, but it's a young adult sequel to the first one of that. My cat's helping me. Then I swapped this through Paperback Swap. I've had this on my wish list at paperbackswap.com for quite a while. And this is Unwind by Neal Shusterman. And I've read a number of Neal Shusterman's books. I read his full Ever Lost series and a couple other ones and really enjoyed them. So this has been, I've heard a lot about this book and I've been wanting to read it for quite some time. And it sounds like it's about a society in which people, if your kids are causing trouble between the ages of 13 and 18, you can have them unwound and sell off parts of them. So it sounds kind of creepy, a little, should be an interesting read. Then the other surprise I got was I came home and I had this ginormous box sitting on my stoop of my house, and I was like, what in the world is that? And it was a box from Tor. And they have sent me a copy of A Memory of Light, the final book in the Wheel of Time series by Robert Jordan and Brandon Sanderson. I read this series for many, many years, starting in high school. The first books came out when I was like in middle school, I think. So the series has been a long time in the running. And I actually stopped reading it around book 8 because I was worried it was never going to be done. And then Robert Jordan died, and I was like, oh my God, it is never going to be done. But then Brandon Sanderson came and finished it from Robert Jordan's notes. So now that this is finally the final book in the series, I'm going to have to go back and start at like book 8 and reread this series, and eventually I'll get to this book and I'll write a review of it. But that might take me a while because I'm kind of behind. So I'm excited to get it, and I'm really excited to see what finally happens in this series, since it was a big part of my life in junior high and high school and college. So that'll be a fun read. And thank you to Tor for that. Alright, so on to gifts that I received for Christmas. I got Out of Blood by Kristen Painter, and this is the 4th book in the House of Comare series, or Comare, I don't know how you say that, but series by Kristen Painter. This has been a really interesting series. It's kind of about vampires in these Comare that they can live off of, and it features this girl named Chrisabel who is trying to move beyond her life as a Comare and start a new life outside of that. It's been good. It's kind of urban fantasy, kind of post-apocalyptic. It's an interesting blend of genres, and the best thing about these books are these absolutely stunning covers. So I believe there's 5 books in the series, and this is the 4th. The first 3 came out like really close together within a month of each other, and then it's been quite a wait for this 4th book. So I'm excited to read that. The next book I got as a gift was Ask the Passengers by A.S. King. I don't even really know what this is about, but everything I've read by A.S. King I absolutely love. She wrote The Dust of 100 Dogs, and I'm blanking on the, Everybody Sees, or Everybody something the Ants. Anyway, Everyone Sees the Ants, or Nobody Sees the Ants, or whatever. Anyways, so her books are always really interesting. They always have like a little bit of magical realism in them, but they aren't really fantasy. She always writes a really good story that I totally don't expect, that just blows me away. So every single book I've read by her I just love. So I saw she had a new novel out. I had to get it, and I hope to read it soon. Oh, I'm excited about this one too. So this, I finally got Reached by Ali Condi, and this is the final book in the Matched trilogy. I really loved Matched. Crossed I wasn't as excited about, so I'm hoping that Reach will tie up this series nicely, and just be a good read. I love the covers on these, how they did the different colors for the different colors of pills the people get in the dystopian society. And this is young adult dystopian fiction, so if you haven't heard, I mean, a lot of people have heard, this is a very popular series, so you've probably heard of it. The other thing I was really excited to get, that I can barely lift, look how big this thing is. This is The Complete Bone by Jeff Smith, and anybody who likes fantasy and graphic novels should really read this. It is a wonderful epic fantasy graphic novel collection, and I originally got them from the library to read, and I was so excited to get my own copy of this. The only thing that's a little disappointing is in this copy none of them are in color. It's all black and white, and I love the color that Jeff Smith uses in his stuff. And anyways, I'll get over that. Maybe I'll buy them in color too and own them both. But I was really excited to get this, and mostly I'm excited because this is such a good series that you can read with kids as well. So me and my son can read it together, and kids enjoy it, adults enjoy it. It's funny, it's epic fantasy. Highly, highly recommended, and I'm so excited to own it finally. Speaking of graphic novels, the other one I got for Christmas was Inherit the Wind, the 17th, I believe, in the Fables collection. So I will be reading this probably tomorrow or the day after, really soon, because I really want to read it. So I'm excited to get this, and I think Cubs in Toyland, the 18th book in the Fable series, comes out in January, so that one will be another one to get soon. This one's just pure fun. I had to get because I love Alice in Wonderland and I like zombies. So this is Allison Zombieman by Gina Showalter. Gina Showalter has been kind of hit or miss for me. She's written some really good stuff, and she's written some stuff that I'm just kind of like, I didn't really like it. But I've been hearing really good things about this. This is the first book in the White Rabbit Chronicles. There's a little deal on the back. It says, I wish I could go back and do 1,000 things differently. I'd tell my sister no. I'd never beg my mother to talk to my father. I'd zip my lips and swallow those hateful words. Or barring all that, I'd hug my sister, my mom, and my dad one last time. I'd tell them I'd love them. I wish. Yeah, I wish. And it's about a girl who falls into a rabbit hole that leads her to zombie land, and she has to fight zombies. And that's all I know about it. But it's got a really cute cover, and I've heard it's really well done, and I love Alice in Wonderland, and I like zombies, so hopefully it's a perfect blend. And the last book that I got, that I've been wanting to read for a long time as well, is Grave Mercy by Robin Lefevers. I have read a ton of stuff by Robin Lefevers, but this is her first young adult book. She writes a middle grade series called Theodosia that's about a young girl who lives with some parents who are Egyptologists, and she goes on a lot of interesting adventures with them, and I really like that series, which she hasn't written a book in for a while because I think she's been working on these. And then she writes a children's series called Nathaniel Flood Beastologist, which is for younger kids. That's like beginning chapter books. And I've read those with my son and really enjoyed those as well. So they've got some great illustration in it and cute stories and stuff. So this is her first young adult book, and I am so excited to read this. It's the first book in his Fair Assassin trilogy, or not trilogy, series. I don't know how many books. I think it's a trilogy, but I'm not sure. The second one in this comes out pretty soon. I saw it on somebody's blog, and I think it comes out in March, but don't quote me on that. So anyways, Grave Mercy, it's about a girl who's an assassin, and it sounds pretty good. It's fantasy. It's supposed to have some romance in it. I'm excited to read it because I love Lefevers' writing style and her previous stuff I've read, and if this is anything like that and it's aimed at a little bit higher age, I'll really like it. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, so 10 books I think this week, and that's a lot, but it was Christmas, so I always get a lot around Christmas. And a lot of really good ones, and I want to just read them all, and I wish I could take like 2 months off of work or something and just read all these wonderful books, but I can't. I have to go back to work on Monday. So I hope everybody had a great Christmas and that you have a wonderful New Year's, and I will talk to you next week. Until then, hope you get to read a lot of good books and that you have a great New Year. Talk to you later. Bye.